We did do that pose, Mary Anthony, right when our Younger Life Live Orchestra hit the Younger Life. Woo! Rick Federici and
Mary Anthony.
We have a wonderful guest in studio.
We have a great guest today. She has an awesome story. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Ashley Dushek. Thank you for having me.
She's alive.
Yes, I'm alive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
My gosh, when you walked in on the red carpet, Mary Anthony's got an entourage of people that joined. I'm just kidding. I love her to pieces. You guys pretty much walked in together, and when I saw you, I was just so elated because the last time you and I bonded, it was a handful of months ago, Mary, and we met because of a free heart cart. Yep. And IU Health LaPorte Hospital in Northwest Indiana was offering this free heart cart for folks. And not only that, but for listeners so big that it pretty much sold out and they did more to help. And this was like, if I'm not mistaken, like a $1,200 heart cart, wasn't it?
The value of it, was about $1,200 in value.
Man, this is like
incredible.
Crazy. So how are you, Mary Anthony,
I'm great.
Today?
How about you? Everybody missed you yesterday.
Well,
everybody missed you. Did you have a good day?
And thank you to Ryan Beth, executive producer, for jumping in at the helm. Was he well behaved?
He was great. He was great. I was afraid of having to be all alone, so it was perfect that he was in here. It worked out good.
Yeah, these young kids. You guys are so young
Please.
and hip. And
it's funny that he always throws me in with Ryan. Poor Ryan's probably thinking, get real. We are not even close to the same age, but it's okay.
I want to throw out there to you, I happened to go on a college day trip with my daughter, Devin, and I was with my wife, Norma, and we were chatting. It was kind of interesting because we, caught part of the show on the free TuneIn radio app, and of course you can check it out afterwards on YoungerLife.org/live. You can watch it as it's happening. But I got to tell you, Mary Anthony, what was cool was, and I have something for you later on if we have time in the show, Devin made rolled oat protein balls
really
for us. And I actually got this from a healthy recipe segment type thing that we chatted about.
Yeah.
She tried it and she said, Dad, this is not going to turn out. And I was the one that was kind of like iffy. But I have to tell you guys, she put them in the fridge after she was done. She rolled these oats, a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of honey, a little bit of coconut oil. Died for them. I had like 5 on the way here this morning. It's like, woo!
That's awesome.
I don't know if I should be having that many, but
Is
that
it equal
is
to
really
like
awesome.
Girl Scout cookies with less guilt?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? Would you guys try one on the air live?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys chat for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll get up.
Do you know, it's funny. And his daughter that he's talking about, she's 17. And what I find really cool is that she likes to make dishes and cook and stuff. And I have a 15-year-old, so she doesn't. My daughter, not that she wouldn't, but she doesn't have really that desire to.
I can relate,
she'll volunteer to make the toast.
There you go.
I was never one really wanted to cook either. So it is so cool to me that she's really into it. She asks to make dishes or, so that's really cool. And especially to know she's making something healthy. How cool.
All right. So here's the bag, and I didn't touch.
I'm not worried, please.
All right, so
I'm
now,
not a
if you don't like
germaphobe.
it, it's totally cool.
It looks like cookie dough. I
was going to say, you can't go wrong with peanut butter and chocolate.
If you guys don't like them, it's totally cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, Ryan, run in here. Definitely get in here for a treat.
Come over here, Ryan.
It looks like cookie dough. It looks fabulous.
Delicious.
Okay, so just take a bite. I'm just curious before we jump into the show. Younger Life Live, Rick Federici, Mary Anthony. Aren't these great?
Really good.
I literally freaked out, and I'm not kidding.
Devin will put an order in.
Rolled oats, and
that's fantastic.
We have to get this up on Facebook and Younger Life Live. Isn't that cool?
It is. It's so good.
She literally. And I'm
you
not
would think
kidding
this
you
was
guys.
healthy for you.
That's what I said.
Healthier.
Right, healthier. Right.
Like I think it almost tastes like a cookie dough. Like
cookie dough.
Oatmeal cookie dough.
Mm-hmm.
And I was proud of myself because Ryan's been wonderful. How many pounds have you lost so far? That's all right. What, 17? 17
right,
pounds.
since the beginning of the year.
Oh,
So
great.
this is rolled oats.
Bravo.
It's honey. It's peanut butter. It's chocolate. Some people can't have it. And when I say chocolate, it's just little
chocolate chips. Is that what it is?
And that's it. And coconut oil, if I didn't say that.
Very good.
And she
Really
did it, and then she
good.
put them in the fridge, and I thought to myself, wow. Like,
Easy,
I'll eat these
too.
all day. And you could actually throw these little balls into yogurt. I'm thinking Greek yogurt,
Oh, that would
and then
be
mix it up. Or, if you want that, if you like
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
Absolutely.
Are we all good?
my
Oh my God, I ate it all. It was
There you
good.
go.
my daughter, my oldest one, like I said, 15. She's in varsity basketball, and occasionally her team will make protein snack
Sure.
bars together, like granola bars. I wonder if this is how they do it because they always have. I've never seen them, so
Yeah.
they go to
Well-
one of the captain's houses and make them. So I wonder.
Kind of
This-
like a pregame. get
Yeah,
the
it's like a
carbs
bonding
and-
thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Oh, this is great. I'm so glad you guys. I mean, for real. So you
Yeah.
guys are cool
Oh
with
my
it.
gosh.
Fabulous.
I have to tell you, this was all spawned from Devin listening to one of the Younger Life Live segments, and then we have tried, all of us, Mary Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
myself, and I know we'll chat about your story and stuff, but this all is sparking from Younger Life Live and healthier
Right.
ways to eat
Trying
and
to-
recipes. And some
Taking that
you
first
may not
step.
like, right?
Yeah.
Some you may not like. We're very honest on the show,
Mm-hmm.
but I was hoping that you guys would like
Oh
them
my
because I'm
gosh.
like,
It's fantastic.
Am I a
Yeah.
dork here?
no,
No.
thank you for sharing.
Yes,
really,
Thank you.
Lovely.
very good.
We took away from your treats.
I know
No,
it.
That's I have one left. Everybody, la.
You better hide it. Ryan may come back in here and snag it.
Can
you
I
better
tell
hide.
you? I know in the refrigerator of our house there's a plate
Yeah.
about this big. It's
like, yes.
full.
That's
So
very
She
good.
took some to school to her friends because she's not going to tell them what's in it.
Yeah.
I told her do this. I go watch and see the reaction because this is the reaction I wanted to see from you
Yeah.
guys. You guys would either be like, it was okay, yeah, it's all right. But
No, very
I'm
good.
like,
No.
oh, these are good. You could take these to the park. You can kind of eat these as snacks at night.
Especially when you're driving, going to be stuck in the car. That again,
Yeah.
like we discussed yesterday with the, we had recently been to Cafe 1007. So yesterday we aired that and talked about that, and it was really cool. So, healthier options rather than drive-through. Those are little cookie things, perfect.
I have a picky 4-year-old, and he would probably even eat those.
He would love it.
Yeah.
It's like
He
cookie
would,
dough.
Because chocolate, peanut butter,
Yeah.
and that's a winner.
Yeah, that's very
And
good.
thank you. You guys made my day, little Devin Kate Federici. When you see this, you're gonna love it. All right,
Very good.
So Younger Life Live today, on a very serious
Right.
note, we have all types of issues and things and
Mm-hmm.
relatable topics, ladies, that we always talk about. Mary, why don't you chat a little bit about our guest and then
Okay,
talk a little bit?
I would
about
love
some
to.
of the other things.
And I just first time I met Ashley was right out here today. So, the February is Heart Health Month, right?
Yep.
So we definitely wanted to include some of that. It's not always just about the trying new healthy things for food or even exercise stuff, but what happens when you might find that you have a problem. Ashley's story is so interesting to me because she wasn't having a problem that you didn't think,
No,
correct?
no,
right?
I was no.
So
symptoms
you're
or anything.
employed. You work at IU Health.
Yes, yes.
Can you tell us about where you
I
work?
work at the community health center.
Okay.
We work with lower income patients that may not have insurance. They qualify through like an application, and it's basically I work on a dental office. It's dentistry at like a reduced rate, but there's also a medical side to it. So
Okay.
there's a combination.
And because you worked there, the hospital, as an employer, does little promotions
Right.
every now and then. So they were doing
They
free
offered-
heart.
Yeah, the heart card screening. They had offered it to all us employees. At the time, actually, when I did my screening, it was towards the end of the summer, and they were offering it, and I just happened to sign up for it. I had never done it before, but I just turned 30, so to me, oh boy, 30.
You young
You were
people.
worried. You were
Right,
worried.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm worried
How
about
fun.
30. But I do have a history of heart disease in my family. I lost my grandfather when I was 12 to a massive heart attack. My father's had 2 silent heart attacks that they had found out could have spanned from as early as 36 years old.
Really?
You
But
know.
you personally not had any
But
issues?
me personally, no, I had not. So when
So
I
you
did
just
it, I
signed
didn't
up
think, right, I
just
didn't
being-
think I would find anything.
What can you tell us about the test? I know Rick did one last year.
We'll talk
you
about that in a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Myself, if I just signed up for the heart card, I wouldn't know exactly what to expect. So
It's very simple. Honestly, you don't even know they're really doing the test when you're there. They hook you up to leads and they're basically running it after they've hooked you up.
that's just is that an EKG
That's
then?
EKG, yeah. And
Okay.
then they will check your blood pressure. They'll, if you do the blood work, they'll check your cholesterol and
Oh, okay.
all A1. They'll do all that with it too. But really, it literally took maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
to
It's
do.
that
It was
fast?
that fast.
Oh, I didn't
I'm
realize
gonna
that.
throw this out there to you.
Please.
So, we had done it. Some of the folks here at
Mm-hmm.
Gerard Media went over there. Now, not only did the hospital offer this to their colleagues, but then they offered to us and in partnership with WIMS to our listeners. So several
Wow.
hundred listeners jumped on it
Okay.
because to get this for $1,200, so literally was free.
Right.
So the value of this was incredible.
Wow.
We one-upped it because then we started talking about this, Mary, and we said, you know what? Let's try to help out the average listener. Let's show them, because you're bringing up exactly what I thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is this going to be all about? Rick,
How long,
yeah,
you know.
would you do this on the air? And I'm, you know me, I'm up for fun, and especially the heart care. Well, let me throw in my history here. So I have a mild case of hypertension. Hypertension, and you guys could probably explain a little bit better, but hypertension is a form of high blood pressure. So I've been taking a 0.5 little, it's a tiny, tiny little pill. It's almost like the size of a Tic Tac, but take off the rounded edge topping. It's tiny, tiny pill. I do it once a day. I take it in the morning, and it's pretty much because I have a mild form of hypertension. It's been going on for a handful of years. My father, it's very interesting you bring up your father. My father had 2 heart attacks. He did do the stuff afterwards where, you know, he would go and do the rehab for his heart. You know, he started eating way better. He was a smoker for many years, but then, you know, in the latter part of his life, you know, didn't do it. So let's say he smoked for 25 plus years. Well, the latter part of his life, the next couple, several decades, he didn't smoke. But one of the things that I gained out of this was that, you know, obviously it runs in the family, so it's something to watch. And I think men and women out there, I don't care what age you are, I think, Ashley, you doing it and saying, well, you know, I have nothing to worry about, or maybe I do, but I'm going to try this. I did it live on the air, and I got to tell you, Mary, it literally, as was mentioned, was a handful of minutes. We actually went from A to Z. We filled out paperwork. We arrived. We did everything we needed to do. A very simple process. You know, the biggest thing, you guys are going to laugh, the biggest thing I was worried about, all right, don't show my chest because I don't have one. Right?
Oh, how funny.
So I would say, you know, when I die, I always say to my wife, when I die, get the prenup #1, take you and the girls, and marry a guy with a chest, a real nice chest. Because I've always
That's
wanted a
funny.
chest in my life. But realistically, that was the only crazy thing that I personally was worried about. And I got to tell you, that EKG they did, I was doing it live on the air. And it was so simple, but, you know, we'll talk about some of the other parts. But I did do the blood work. I did it all.
You did the blood work too.
I
yeah.
did everything, and I'm
That would
telling
be
you,
my fear. I hate needles. I'm like the
It's
biggest
really not
bleeder.
bad.
go for it.
It's
Please
not.
explain.
It's really not bad.
Yeah.
They take like a sample, like the
Oh, it's from the finger?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then-
goodness. That's even
I mean,
easier.
It's really, yeah,
like
it's
nothing.
really nothing to it at all.
Wow.
And yeah, and in my
So-
case, they actually all my other blood work, everything was great. I had no other
So,
problems.
so you did the testing, and then how soon before you got results that said, oh, something isn't
Well, the nurse that was doing it that day, she asked me, "Do you have a family physician?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my kids have pediatricians. Me,
Right.
You know, we should, but we haven't yet.
Right.
And she's like, "Well, I think you need to follow up." So in that way, in an aspect, because she kind of gave me a lead in that, you know, something seemed it was abnormal.
Yeah, but obviously that was.
But we had to wait because they send it to a certified cardiologist to review your results, and then they send the information to you.
Okay.
So basically, kind of giving you what they feel if you need to follow up. You know.
Was that about a week?
Yeah, it took about a week
Okay.
to get it in the mail, but I kind of, because she kind of
Yeah.
gave me a heads up, I kind of took initiative right away because she gave me, you know, a printout. And,
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
once I got my actual packet, I reviewed it, then I actually called a cardiologist and kind of took it from there. So,
So you and can you tell us what your results?
the results,
report.
it was the abnormal EKG showed I had a right bundle branch block.
Okay,
which,
so what? Say that again.
right bundle branch block.
Now, I'm going to ask this question because now Mary Anthony, myself, Rick Frederick, we're all here. Had you ever even heard of that word before?
Never had any clue
That's key
what
here.
that was. No
So
idea.
number one, you had never heard of it. Two,
So-
what was your initial reaction? Were you freaked, or what did you just say? What is this?
Well, honestly, I wasn't. I mean, to me, I'm like, okay, abnormal, you know, nothing, you know.
I've got a blah blah
Something.
blah.
Well,
yeah.
right. I mean, I didn't, you know, at that time, it just didn't really hit it home that was
Right.
something major. But of course, you know, my family's like, you know, don't sit on this. You know, you've got to get checked. You know, and I'm like, oh, okay. You know, so that's when I made the call to the cardiologist, and once he reviewed my paperwork, he's like, yeah, I want you back the next day. I want to do an echocardiogram.
The next
The
day.
next
Yeah.
day, you wanted me back. So I'm like,
Yeah, that's scary.
even that point, I'm like, okay, well, the next day, maybe there's more to it. I don't, you know. So then once I went back and started doing the echocardiogram, the tech that was doing it, she stopped in the middle of it, and so I'll be right back. Leaves, goes, gets the cardiologist, comes in, and they're reviewing it, and I'm feeling like a puppet, like
Right, what's going
somebody
on?
talk to
What's
me,
go-
what's
right,
going
what's
on?
going on?
What's going on?
Sure.
And then, sure enough, at that point, they said, well, we're about 80% positive you have what's called atrial septal defect.
Wait,
which
what's that
is-
word?
Atrial septal defect.
Now, have you ever heard of that word,
I
Mary?
did not.
See, me either.
So
Go for it.
which is
It basically it's a hole in the heart, and where it's located, it's at the top of the atrial. At that time, they thought it was pretty decent size, but they couldn't really get a good view from the echo. So I actually had to go do a transesophageal echocardiogram, which is where they go through your throat with a camera,
Yeah.
and they're basically looking at different, I guess, waves to see the blood flow and see. And that I was sedated for it.
I was going to
It
ask you
was-
that because that would be kind of freaky.
it was that I would say was not the best experience ever.
by that point were you freaking out? I mean, just have
Once
to
they
schedule
told me
that
I had
test.
a hole in my heart, yeah, I was thinking, what? You know, and they said this is something I've had since I was born
Yeah.
and never knew.
So you're at this point in your
Yeah.
life, you're 30 years
I'm
old.
30 years old,
A
yeah.
young mom.
Yep.
Your children, if you don't mind me asking, how old are they?
I have a 4-year-old, and my youngest will be 2 here on the 18th of this month. He'll be 2.
Okay. So,
So you're talking a baby. This is
That's
where
right,
this is
babies.
where it gets me,
Yeah.
and it's
Crazy.
tough for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
You know, that is scary.
So, I mean, at that point, you know, I mean, the funny thing of it is, you know, even when I found out I had a hole in my heart, you know, that same day I was playing slow pitch softball, and I played and had the best game of my season.
yeah.
You know, I was like, but to me, I was thinking, well, why stop what I've been doing my entire
Right, it's-
life?
right.
You know,
Agree.
Well, you can't. Right.
And at that point, I didn't really know the severity, so I
Yeah.
just, you know, we just from that point pushed on, and you know, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
You know what? So then at that point, you know, I started getting referred to a specialist in Indy. You know, originally we thought, okay, well, they can do this cath where they put this device in. It's
Okay.
really not invasive. You know, they go in, they patch it. You're in the hospital a day and then off work a week.
More
so at that point,
outpatient,
okay, you know, that doesn't seem too bad. You know, easy fix. Well, a few days go by and then I get a call and they said, unfortunately, because of the size of the hole in your heart, we will not be able to place this device. They said it'd be too much of a risk that if it was to slip, it could puncture your aorta and then that's it,
Right.
game over.
Right.
So they said, unfortunately, we're going to refer you to a cardiac surgeon. So at that point, that's when I found
You
out
knew.
my only option was open heart surgery.
Oh, at 30.
Open heart surgery,
Yeah.
that young of an age.
Yeah.
You have 2 children. This is all has come together. So the timeline of this, if you don't mind me talking about this on Younger Life today, what was the timeline from when you did the heart cart to when you found out, and then you had a few things done as listened to. You could actually scope this out as a podcast, Younger Life, you know, of course, .org/live if you're watching it, to the time you actually had the open heart. How long ago span?
I did the screening. Like I said, it was end of July. I did the screening. I went through the series of tests when I was referred to the specialist, and then once I got with my actual cardiologist, met with the surgeon, I ended up, because I had to go back for a series, I had to do a stress test, had to
Yeah.
do all these different tests before they were comfortable with me having the surgery. I had the surgery October 9th is when I had the open heart.
A few months.
Okay, I'm as a father here, and I know that Mary and I chatted about this when we bonded with Ashley. I get choked up.
I know, it's hard for me.
I freak out because you're talking about a young woman here with 2 children,
Babies.
and it's
You
like,
know.
oh my gosh. And I went through the heart cart, so I know that it was very simple. It's a procedure. And here on Younger Life, you look at these things and you say, in life, everything else aside, no matter what you got going, you could have that car, that job, the money, whatever it is. In my life, it's all about my family. Everything else around it is just icing on the cake, the small cake that it is, and a healthy cake, by the way, with no sugar. But I'm going to turn to you, Mary, because obviously you're a young mom of 5.
Yeah.
You and
Oh,
Jeremy
wow.
have 5 beautiful children, and I would love to get your perspective on this because to me, it freaks me out.
Well, it's hard to hear.
Exactly.
It's just rough. I can't imagine. You know, the relief from you just getting the green light that everything was fine. For yours, what a relief. But you know, you kind of expect that. I mean, I don't say expect it, but you think, oh, good, everything is fine. To find out it isn't, and
Right.
would be really hard.
Like I was talking with you, you know, before I went in for surgery, you know, me and my husband had to sit and have the conversation that if I don't make it through this, you know, what are you going to do? You know, we got the boys, you got to be there, you know, and that was probably the hardest thing for me, because, I couldn't imagine, not seeing them grow up, So,
Yeah.
but luckily everything worked out. I had a, if you're going to go through something like this, you want a really good support system. And I had that from my family to my husband's family to my coworkers
Right.
to my,
Thank God.
I had a lot of people that stepped up and were there for me when I was going through this, because, it's not easy,
How long did you actually have to be in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for 4 days. I was in intensive
Wow,
care.
that's it. I'm not expecting.
I was,
New
yeah, no.
technology.
Yeah, actually, I was in intensive care for the first day because I was kind of out of it, and I had a breathing tube, and I was.
Yeah.
And then actually, the funny thing is, from once I was going from intensive care to my room, I walked
Wow.
the whole way from intensive care to my room.
Wow.
So I had youth in my favor. Obviously, most people that
Right.
go through, it's a little bit tougher, but I
They're
bounced.
like you, Rick.
Oh, get
No,
real.
but unfortunately, and because I had no other health issues, I was able to bounce back.
Yeah.
I progressed very quickly and healed very quickly.
So then you did have to do cardiac rehab, I'm
Yes,
assuming,
I
right?
went to cardiac rehab.
And is that an inpatient process or out?
Outpatient?
good.
Once I had to wait a couple weeks after my surgery before I was able to start. I was very restricted. Obviously I couldn't lift my kids.
Right.
I couldn't lift even a milk carton at that point. I couldn't drive for 3 weeks. I was just So that
But you're here.
I'm here.
And
here.
healthier.
Yep.
And I mean, that's amazing. So as far as follow up, how often will you have to follow up? Is this something you'll have to keep an eye on forever?
Yeah, I will probably have to go every 6 months with my cardiologist. They'll probably want to check. I don't know if I'll have to do an EKG every 6 months. I know at least once a year for sure, probably forever. But luckily I ended up, after my surgery, I did have AFib, which is basically an abnormal rhythm, but that's because when they worked on my heart, it's a shock,
Right.
heart, So they said that was not uncommon. So I was on medication for that for a little while to get the rhythm back to normal. But I'm no longer on any heart medication.
that's
I take a baby
fantastic.
aspirin and multivitamin. And
Hold on a second. No more heart medication.
No more heart medication. None.
Wow.
See, that's the one thing that, as I've lost weight and as as we get wiser in years, things that never were a problem for me, weight was one of them.
Yeah.
As I get older as a guy, and a lot of guys this happens to, and I'm throwing this out there. I don't care if you're 20 something right now, if you're in your 30s or your 40s, or maybe you're even, getting up there in your 50s and 60s. That's still young, because if you take care of yourself, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, my gosh, where did with a daughter that's 22 and a daughter that's 18, where did those years go? And I'm constantly involved with them. But truly seeing how you could eat a little bit better, look at your diet, because even when I dropped the 30 pounds plus, I felt so much better, and so many different things happened to me. Even physically, I could just tell different things happening. And I'm very active 7 days a week, but I think that's something that is very interesting. So I would love to not take medicine anymore. And I know I'm hoping, my doctor says to me, if you drop weight, and I don't, this isn't for everybody, and I'm not a doctor, nor do we.
Oh, well, we always say that. We certainly are not
have to, because,
experts at anything.
People are like, well, I heard on your show. Well, guess what? I'm telling you to go to the doctor.
We're saying please don't.
What works for Ricky Federici. But the thing there is to watch what you're eating and throw in the exercise. I try to do 30 minutes worth of exercise, couple days, 3 days a week, no matter what. Obviously, I love the whole biking thing that I started in the middle portion of last year, and trying to get a little more fit on that stuff. But again, it's tough for a lot of us, because, and no excuses.
Right.
What I'm saying is it has to fit within your schedule.
Well, and that's a great point for you, Ashley. What did they? So you did the cardiac rehab. Did they have you completely change your diet after that,
Well,
or was this
obviously-
something that you just step by step?
I really didn't have any restrictions. I mean, obviously, we all should probably watch what we eat, and me guilty of it.
Certainly, right.
But I noticed one of the things before I found out all that was going on. I did notice I was tired all the time.
Really.
And granted, like one
In
of the things is-
hindsight, a little bit.
yeah,
you
you know, I was tired all the time. Granted, I work full time. I've got 2 young children. I am overweight, unfortunately. But you know what? Just to me, that's just every normal factors. Of course, I should be tired.
I know,
Of course, I
that's
shouldn't
what I
be
think.
having any energy.
Right.
You know.
That's a good point, isn't it?
Right.
So, but you know, obviously they said, well, you know, it would help, you know, lose weight, eat healthy, you know, stay active. I mean, just what everybody should be doing.
But
Right,
let's
but-
let's look at this, all of us.
Right.
You stay active,
Yeah.
I stay active. That to me is normal. You see
It
what I'm
is
saying?
normal
Being
to me to be
It's
tired.
normal.
When you're,
7
you know,
days
you
a
have
week,
kids,
it's like, yeah.
Right.
there's always this and that, a little bit of
Constantly.
everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wouldn't,
Ooh, I have a
that
heart
would not be
issue.
a red.
No, I'm just tired.
Yeah,
you know,
tired.
That
like-
would not be the red flag to me.
Right,
So that's why
exactly.
I find it so amazing. It really is a miracle the way it all played out, that you found
Absolutely.
out when you did. Now, I don't even know if you're interested in having any more children, but being young at your age, and especially your children being so young, did they tell you that is something you should not do, or that?
Well, they did ask me. They did ask me before, you know, if we were planning on having more children. And at that time, of course, my husband's like, "No, we got a boy. We're good. Tapping out.
That's funny.
Tapping out."
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I was always like, "Well, maybe one day," you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't quite say not to, but he really didn't say he was for it. He was kind of like, it was a gray area.
Yeah.
It's your decision, young lady.
And well, he said, you know, I'd give it a few years, you know, because
Lot of
it
strain.
takes It
Right,
takes,
absolutely.
And plus, they said they couldn't believe at that point that I've had 2 children with no complications. They said, you at this point, what should have happened to you didn't. You should have had a stroke.
That's
You could have
amazing.
had,
Wow.
you could have had
That's
a heart
amazing.
attack.
Well, you know, I know
they-
my own experience. I was born with holes in my heart, but I thank God never needed any surgery or anything. My parents, I went to Riley for follow-ups up until I was actually a teenager and released. But they
Right.
did warn at that time, you know, I never had any issues and no complications. I never had to be on medicine. I didn't have to do anything other than my parents just followed up to keep an eye on. They did say, when you decide to have children, make sure you see a cardiologist. And they kept saying that. So when my husband and I got married, and when we got pregnant with our very first, my mom said, do not mess around with it. And I was like, oh, please. But she said, please just do it.
Right,
You know,
of
and
course.
it's just a matter of an EKG at that point. It was for me, and it was fine. No strain on my heart. So I never ever again had to follow up. And at that point, he said, unless you have issues, it wouldn't be concerned. You know, I wouldn't be concerned for as far as future children, since there was no problem, which is why for me, I'm floored
Yeah.
that you with 2 having such a significant issue, that it wasn't an issue. And that's why I was kind of curious if they told you don't
they
have
told
any
me.
more, or
They said they just couldn't believe it.
amazing.
Everything that should have happened didn't. And that's his exact words. I'm like, you know, okay.
Thank
Like, where do you
God.
take that?
I
Like,
mean, really.
Can I throw something out there too here on Younger Life Live? One of the things that we all talk about, and I'm sure the ladies can elaborate from their experiences in life and mine as well. What I'm going to throw out there to you, hopefully will save a life. You know, the symptoms of these potential problems that are going on. Give you a great example. My father, before he had his first heart attack, and you got to remember, this is when I was in college. So you figure I'm between 18 and 21. I graduated college when I was, you know, my young 20s, 21. And my father, I look back at this, I'm thinking as you ladies are talking, and a lot of us do this, gosh, my father was like my age right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
You know, they had 6 children, my mom and dad. My one sister died from leukemia at age 6. But one of the things that we noticed on the first heart attack was my father always got tired, and so tired that it just wasn't him. I mean, the boys, my brothers Mark and Scott, myself, all of us, my sisters, Tara, Lisa, we all have that energy from dad and mom. I mean, they're just always going. We were always involved with some. But when my dad started getting tired, that would
be like the precursor kind of before.
Totally, for the first one. And then obviously, as he went through the first one, thank the Lord, he made it through that. And then it was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, another 13 years.
Oh, wow.
You know, we did rehab and stuff,
Right.
and maintained, you know, and obviously everything in moderation. Then he had another one, and it was the result. He made it through the second one, but when he passed, it was the result of the kidneys shutting down. And you don't toy with the heart,
Right.
the kidneys, really anything, your health. But what I'm saying is symptoms. Could you,
Yeah.
now you had brought up, Mary, obviously when you and Jeremy got pregnant with your first child together, God bless, you know, you listened, and I say this too, don't be selfish, people. I don't care what age you are. If you're not going to do it for yourself, and Mary, you could jump on this, and Ashley as well, do it for your family, do it for the
Mm-hmm.
people that are around you, because I always think about that. It's like, man, I want to be here.
Yeah,
I wanna be
absolutely.
here.
Oh, absolutely.
about
I mean, I just find this story so compelling and relatable because it is shocking to hear that it isn't just, when we do have high blood pressure or we do have other issues or just when we do reach a certain age that you need to make sure you stay on it and go, no, it can be at any age and it can
Right.
be anyone. And I mean, the heart cart is a fabulous tool. I'm not sure even anywhere else you could get that complete of screening. But I mean, maybe if you even are concerned or just want to make sure, I don't know if someone should just tell their family doctor, you know what, just to make sure, or these are some concerns I have, want to check my own self out. Maybe they can assist with that or at least send
Well,
you.
my biggest thought on it now that I've been through all of it is, this should be something that should be done mandatory with our kids in just their routine
Yeah.
physicals. I
Right.
mean, this is,
Yeah, I mean, that
even
makes
not
sense.
so much athletes, because, when I grew up, I played sports my entire life. I played softball. I was a catcher. It'd be nothing for me to play in a tournament where I'd play 5-6 games in one day
Yeah.
in 100-degree heat.
Absolutely.
And at any moment, I could have just collapsed and that'd been it.
Well, and that happens, and we hear of that, and
all
it's
the
so
time.
devastating. And you always think, as parents, you would think, oh, is there anything I could do? And you can't. You're not going to know unless that
Right.
was a routine test, or
Right.
I know they always obviously listen for murmurs
Right.
in babies and try to make sure you follow up if there is a murmur, that eventually closes, because it's not uncommon for
Well, yeah, and as you say
infants.
that's funny you say that because, I've had the physicals throughout, my doctor listened, checked
Yes.
everything. But because of the size of the hole in my heart, they could never detect that.
See,
Can I
that's
ask you a
crazy.
question? We have an instant text here, and this comes from Glenn, who's obviously listening to Younger Life Live right now. Could you ask, please, what the risk is of having a hole in her heart? They want to know that. Then also, why was it such an emergency for you to have the surgery? Like, was it life or death at that point? And that's a great
at that
question.
point,
Thank you.
It is. Good
basically,
question.
the surgery for me at this point was more preventative.
Mm-hmm.
Had I not, he said, this is something, it's not going to close on its own. It's not going to get any better. All it's going to do is get worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to start affecting you, at any moment. He said
Progress.
basically at any moment, I could have collapsed. My heart could have just gave out. So, I mean, if you think about it in that aspect, yeah, I mean, it was maybe life or death, but it's basically progressing my life.
Right.
He told me you probably would not have lived a full life
Wow.
had I not
Been
caught,
cut
had it
short.
not been caught
Well,
and been treated.
I mean, and he made it. I mean, it
Right.
sounds
They said
clearly
at
like
this
they are
point, right.
amazed that you had not already had a stroke or something
Right.
during the pregnancies, which adds so much
That
to the
was the key-
heart and
yeah,
everything
absolutely.
else. So, what other changes have you made then in your life to assure that you're, on the path to trying to keep your heart healthy at this
yeah,
point?
I mean, obviously trying to eat better. I mean, granted, I have those days where you just get a hankering for something bad for you.
Certainly.
I'm with
I mean,
you.
do they recommend you cut down your sodium, or is there something
Well,
specific that we
honestly-
could do
well,
starting
honestly,
today?
For me personally, I didn't have any other health issues. My
Right.
cholesterol's great. My blood
that's
pressure is
just amazing.
fantastic. The only problem I had was I had this massive hole in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went in for surgery, the surgeon told my husband, he goes, well, it was bigger than we thought, the hole. It was about the size of a silver dollar.
Oh,
Wow.
my gosh.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But I had no other damage to my heart. So, which he said he
Thankfully.
was surprised by that. So, I mean, obviously, what was happening is because my hole was so big that blood was doing like double work.
Yeah.
And the right side of my heart was enlarged because of it, because the right side is doing the most work. Well, ultimately, if you don't patch it, it's just eventually going to probably give out on you.
Okay. That makes
So,
sense. It's
yeah.
just.
So I
Wow.
guess, to me, of course, life or death, because, I mean,
Absolutely.
why prolong something that's not going to get better? Face it head on, get it fixed, and move on.
Yeah.
That was my whole, it wasn't going to get better, wasn't going to go away. So just had to
So
face it.
as far as from here on out with your own children, then have they done any testing to
Not
assure
yet,
that
but
your
they
children?
will. Especially when I was pregnant with my youngest one, they had found a bright spot on his heart during an ultrasound.
And what is a bright spot?
Well, to them, they said it could be a series of things. It could be just like a little calcium
Okay.
that would just eventually dissolve and that's it. Or at that time, we didn't know. They said it could possibly be a genetic thing. So I was going through all kinds of tests from that, possible Down syndrome. I mean, they hit me with all kinds of stuff. But once he was born, he was totally fine. And they never addressed
So
it
there's
again.
never been any additional like heart,
No.
like something as easy as, what is the Doppler, right?
Right.
I mean, where it's like an ultrasound type.
Right.
They just, it's
They did,
not,
yeah.
I mean, it's nothing invasive. It's just literally
Right. And then, at
So-
that point, they said he was fine. But because of that, and with what's happened with me,
Yeah.
I will most definitely have both my children checked out.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is something, too, that I want to throw out there. You're watching and listening to Younger Life Live here on Girard Media's WYMS. YoungerLife.org/live to view it as it's happening, of course. And Mary Anthony, myself, Rick Frederick, we so appreciate you being here. And this is what this show straight out is all about.
Right.
Educating and, giving you a little bit of knowledge. Maybe there are ways we can tweak. Maybe we can actually get you and motivate you to help yourself, your loved ones,
Take
or all
that
the
first
above.
step.
Take it.
Yeah.
You know,
Take
and
that
I mean,
first
it
step,
is
seriously.
really the hardest to just because I mean, you had no real reason to sign up for the heart card. That's what I find intriguing. But you decided, hey, just to make sure, why not? While I'm able to, and it was clearly offered free, which is great. Take advantage of that, and even had it come back normal,
Right.
given that you had anyone in the family that's ever had heart issues,
Yep.
Right.
at least you would have known that. And then if you ever
It
did
brings you
develop
to
like the
account,
blood
Mary.
pressure, or
It brings
something,
you to account.
I
though,
bet.
if you get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's cool. You're good.
Right.
It still freaks me out, and this is something that I have lost friends to heart attacks in their young age, 30s and 40s. I've seen things happen to people, and all of us have been through this death. It just happens. I'm just going to be straight out. I'm not trying to be morbid. And if you got children with you listening, maybe you talk as a family about the importance of health and wellness and maybe eating a little bit better. And you know what? You brought up a great point, Ashley. I mean, there are times that we all want to munch out or go a little bit
absolutely.
crazy. But let's be honest here. Everything in moderation. I've been doing stuff in moderation. And let's look at even your young collegiate men and women out there that are at college. They're pulling all-nighters. They're getting crazy. No one's around them to tell them what to eat. And sure, a lot of them work out. Sure, a lot of them walk. But guess what? They're going to be, I witnessed this recently as of the last few days, where you go do a college visit and, you walk into their wonderful cafeteria and they've got a lot of good vegan options. They got a lot of good healthy options. And you look, I did this on purpose. I'm looking around the room going, wow. And I'm looking at the age of people.
Right.
And I'm looking at people that are the dads and moms. I'm like, okay, some of them are eating, grilled chicken breast sandwiches without the bread. Good. I actually had, when I went to a college day, I just had this recently. I had this zucchini, squash, and tomatoes. It was all this awesome stuff. And I said to my wife, now this, I could easily eat this all day as a side or whatever. But then the other side of me is going, I'm smelling
I smell burgers and fries, or
I smell
pizza.
burgers, I smell
Yeah.
pizza. But again, and this is one of the things that, and I even said this to my daughter. I'm like, listen, when you're here, and it was a great time for me to say this, I'm like, man, you got some great options here.
Right.
And, we're going to get you the gold plan. And a lot of the kids do that, where you get to have X amount of meals per week, as a college student, but then you get dining dollars. And I said, with those dining dollars, I don't want you to go get coffee. I don't want you to go get, that's to grab a banana. That's to grab fruit. That's to grab, granola bars. And I'm like, and I'll be up there when Dad comes up there to see. I'm bringing all, semi-healthy stuff. But that also, works on your mojo. You ladies have both brought this up, you being tired. I know personally that if I eat, like if I have oatmeal, which I had this morning with my honey drizzled on there and cinnamon. I only started doing this in the last year. I haven't been doing this all my life, let's be honest here. But I love like Raisin Bran, and I love my Kellogg's cereals. My wife will have the protein one. I'll have the one that's called Chocolatey Delight. And no, they're not sponsors of this program, but I'm just saying this to you because not all the time, can you eat stuff and it does, I agree with you. I
Right.
love my OJ, but I'm gonna go for a Trop 50 that's 50% less calories and like a quarter of the sugar, and everything in moderation. I love my waters.
I'm glad you mentioned coffee. I love coffee.
I am a
love
coffee.
So everyone that okay, good.
Everybody, big round of
Well,
applause for
yeah,
coffee.
I love coffee. I was
Seriously.
curious though. Did they? I know you said you really don't have any real restrictions, but did they recommend to you that it would be smart to cut down or cut out the caffeine? or
Good question.
just
Honestly, well,
Yeah.
for me, not really. I mean,
okay?
But granted, I try not to drink really any soda or anything. My biggest vice would be my coffee in the morning. If I don't have it,
With sweet cream.
game. Yeah. Oh,
I have to. I love
can't-
flavored
I
good
can't
old.
function without it. But no. But and honestly, I think again because I didn't have any other major issues.
That obviously.
I mean, they
helped.
just give the typical like they would tell anyone.
Okay.
Eat better. You know, exercise.
Yeah.
Just the general things that we all should be doing.
What about this might be a little bit out there, but a lot of times stress can be play a factor.
Absolutely.
Did they recommend to you
Working with Rick
But
Federici.
no, not at all. But stress in general. Did they recommend or teach you any ways to maybe we talked about yoga a little bit, or did they recommend anything like I hate to say meditation, but I mean calming
Sure.
ways
Well, just something,
to calm yourself.
just any type of hobbies or something that just makes
I mean,
you calm.
they said
just things that you enjoy to
find
do.
ways
Right, just
to
find ways of
keep
things
yourself-
you enjoy, keep yourself, I mean, everybody has stress. That's
Certainly.
it's never going to go away.
Right,
that's,
right.
That's a given. But it's just trying to
managing.
make the best of, whatever situation you're in. And that's like when I was faced with this, I didn't want to run away from it, obviously, because like I've said, it wasn't going to fix itself.
Right.
And I think of all the factors that brought me to this point.
Right.
I'm not from this area originally. I'm from near St. Louis originally.
Really?
My husband's from this area, and we moved back here for his work. So had I not moved here,
Right.
had I not gotten a job with the hospital, it took me 5 years employed with the hospital before I took the initiative to get this
Heart
screening
clear.
done. So had I not done that, I still would be walking around with a heart defect.
Or
that
not
would
at
have
all.
would take my life.
That's it.
would
That's
take my
what's
life.
so scary. I just think that's amazing.
Yeah, there's just, I personally feel things happen to you for a reason.
Absolutely.
You get taken to a path to lead you, and what happens to you.
and now you know better to try to do
Right.
better. I
Right.
just think that's
Exactly.
so that is kind of your passion now, is kind of
I
sharing
want to help as
knowledge.
many people as I can. I read on an article, or I saw on a CNN article that one child dies every 3 days for sudden cardiac death.
Oh,
And that's too many. One is too many.
absolutely.
If we can get our children screened, and the thing is, we need to make it attainable for people to be able to afford these
Absolutely.
tests.
I think that's a good point. It's
gonna-
difficult.
I'm going to throw this out there to you, and as I'm typing here on the WIMS Facebook, we're going to share this for the WHFB listeners, the WIMS listeners, YoungerLife.org. Check this out. As I'm sitting here, I have a group of professionals listening to the show right now. Rick and Mary and Ashley, phenomenal show. We are watching and listening. Here's what we're going to throw out to you. IU Health LaPorte Hospital in Indiana. Listen to this. Heart carts remain free throughout 2016. I'm going to tell you personally, it's a $1,200 value. Heart carts remain free throughout
That's
2016. Sign up at theheartcart.org. I'm putting this up on
That
Facebook.
makes me. I
Fantastic.
want to
That's
write that.
fantastic.
You're going.
I hate to sound
You
so
and
paranoid, but
Jeremy.
I'm like,
No.
I am going to write that down.
No.
My
That's
husband does have
fantastic.
high blood
That's what-
pressure.
That's what we want you to do on the
that's
show. Listen to this.
wonderful.
Theheartcart.org. I've got a number for you. Grab that pen and piece of paper. You ready? 219-326-2626. I'm getting a sign from our executive producer, Ryan Beth. He's actually finishing up the piece for us. Thank you. To learn more, people can attend an event which is coming up at IU Health. It's going to be February 17th, everybody. This is going to be at 5:30. We're going to call this event Show Us Your Heart.
I will be
Look
there.
at this.
Yep, I will be
okay,
there.
So you're,
I
oh,
will be
gosh.
there. Oh, great.
We
I will
need to
be
be
there.
there.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, would you tell us a little bit about it? I didn't know. I heard of.
Well, I know just a very
put all
brief
this up
about
on-
it. It's
Okay.
just I know it's an art exhibit.
Please.
For I think like a lot of the local.
Yes,
that are
that's
gonna
what I
be
found
doing.
was really
and they're
cool.
basically,
Yeah,
I
we
think
chatted
they're
about that, yeah.
going to be trying to find places for these local artists for the heart, basically promoting the heart card screenings. And everything.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So.
It's at 901 Lincoln Way in LaPorte, Indiana. So if you're viewing this, you're in the area, and I don't care, I got to tell you this. Think about this. You're going to save $1,200. So if you're coming from, the area, just want to throw this out there. So the show is, it's Wednesday, the 17th of February, so it's coming up. I'm putting this up. I'm going to also put it under the events tab on WIMSradio.com, and I just found out, too, as they chatted to me directly via text, that they're going to put it up on YoungerLife.org. Okay, so YoungerLife.org/live to see it. You could check out these as a podcast. Listen, this is a gift, this show. And I'm going to tell you right now, take the show, forward it to your husband, your significant other, your grandparents, your parents. I'm telling you, and Mary, I would suggest to you and Jeremy, you guys are a young couple. You guys are all young. Anybody out there, get the heart cart done. You've got those little things in life called children. Yeah. You want to be around to watch them,
Absolutely.
Do cool things. And I mean, it touches my heart, and I know it touched yours. And I'm watching all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, does everybody have Kleenex? Thank
I
you,
know,
Ryan Best, for bringing us Kleenex. But I just want to throw that out there. So heart carts, and listen, if you have a heart cart done and you need to follow up, that's your responsibility as an adult. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 60, that's your responsibility. They're telling you. And there's no excuses for the insurance part of it, because there are programs at IU Health LaPorte Hospital that can help you get the help you need.
I have a question about that. You just made a good point when you said follow up because you're an adult. What if, are you able to take children to the heart cart? I'm not just,
well, that is a good question.
I've never considered
Well, no
that.
one's mentioned that to me, but I honestly, I don't know why you couldn't.
Hold
I mean,
on,
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
how
do
young
this.
they would take.
I'm going
though.
to do this, and not to
Right.
interrupt you ladies. You're listening, gentlemen and ladies, the professionals over at IU Health LaPorte Hospital. Remember, listen, let me know, and I'm going to say it right now on the air live as it's happening. What age do you have to be? I'm thinking, just so you guys know, as an adult, I'm thinking, and I'm not the doctor, nor do I play one. I'm thinking 18 plus here.
Okay.
I'm guessing, but I'm thinking if there's something, you had mentioned something as a child, or Riley's and some of the other stuff, maybe there's a way that we could connect them with the proper people.
I was just curious, just
That's
thinking.
a great question, though.
Yeah, I hadn't considered it, and so you said we're all adults. Oh, I didn't think of that. What if you wanted to?
Well, like I
I
said,
mean,
that's
probably
my
not
biggest
infant.
thing,
One or two.
Well, usually if infants,
really
they can probably
little
detect it,
toddler.
because I think they do
Right.
way more testing now with
I think they do too.
with the infants.
I
than-
just know with my own little ones
Right.
that it seems as though they're much more cautious to check for,
Yeah.
not just murmurs. I mean, really pay attention to that. But, that's nothing that they repeat other than listening, but it's more,
Right.
let's just
Well,
generally.
again, like in my case, they couldn't catch it.
Not
through
even
that.
detectable like that,
The only way
right?
they caught what I had was through the EKG.
Wow.
I love this show. Here's another one coming in. Love this show, you guys. Please throw out the number again, Rick. 219-326-2626. Officially up on Younger Life Live. Obviously, all these different podcasts and these shows. Also up on WIMS's AM 1420, the Facebook. So all you got to do is very, very simple. Thank you. The doctor says we are looking into, I just got another one from someone else listening, 20 years and older.
20 and older.
20 and older.
Okay.
So
That's
that
good
is
to
a
know.
great question.
Right,
But I mean, we could try to connect you with folks if you do have a situation, or maybe your thoughts are, man, I really, really want some help with this, or I'm kind of lost. Don't be afraid of this. All of us in this room have done it. And Mary, I'm going to put you to the challenge. I did this. The challenge would be you and
I would
Jeremy
certainly.
together. And I know it's tough sometimes for a lot of us to get off of work or whatever. If you and Jeremy go and get this heart cart done, I am not kidding you. If you schedule it properly, you could get it done and do it on a lunch break.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Am I
that
right?
fast. Yeah.
I did it
That's
on the
incredible.
live.
It really
I was
is. I
telling
mean,
you,
it's
I'm
just
telling you.
wonderful.
Yeah,
It
so I'm going to
is.
throw this out
It's
there
good
again.
information.
It's awesome.
Good way to start out heart health,
The month
awareness.
itself, sure,
Right. Absolutely.
sure.
It's so important. And
Heart Cart's free throughout 2016. Sign up by visiting theheartcart.org. Call 219-326-2626. They fill up, you guys.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
letting
I'm
you know.
sure.
Yeah, they do.
Don't
I
put it
did,
off.
I
To
did hear
learn
they have
more,
a lot going on.
We've got it all up on Facebook too.
Good,
I've got all this stuff
good,
too.
yep.
But, man, this was awesome information.
It
so.
is. It is. I was really excited when because again, I had not met you before today,
Right.
so I was excited when I heard of the story and knew you were going to get to join us, especially tell us all about it. I knew it'd be a little heavy at times, but important
Right.
for people to know and know that there are, every day, little things that we do that don't even think are gonna. You just assume things to be okay, and so it's
Right.
nice to know that even when they're not. They're caught, changes can be made, and they can be fine.
Right.
So that's promising and good information.
And I think too, no matter what your background is, no matter what your religious background is, no matter what your health is, I am sure this has changed your life in some very positive way.
profound.
And
I
I would
hope.
love to get
I hope.
like a final thoughts process from you, Ashley. Like, What has it done for you? What has it done for your marriage? What has it done for your family?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it opened an avenue for you and your children, even though they're younger. Mommy's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, it has completely changed my life. It's put so many things in perspective for me. It's brought me and my husband a lot closer, realizing that if I'm, there's a chance I may not be here. It was like a shock to the system.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing now is I want to help as many people as I can. If I can help save one life, then I feel like everything I've been through is worth it. Because nobody wants to be faced with something like this, but you have to face it head on, and you can't run from it. And if you can help somebody, that's why I feel like I'm still here.
Yeah.
I could have died at any moment, at any time, but I didn't. So I feel like I should be a voice for those that weren't as fortunate as me. Let's figure out a way to make this attainable for people to be able to afford to get screened. Because not everywhere you can get it for free.
Right.
This is something I feel should be mandated just by law. Make it affordable for people to be able to be screened, because it's your life.
Right. Absolutely.
And you only got one. So that's my biggest thing now. I want to push for people to be helped. That's all.
Good.
That's all I want to do.
I love it. Beautifully said.
I would say, and thank you. That's a great way to kind of round up the show.
Absolutely.
Mary Anthony, I'm Rick Federici, Younger Life Live, YoungerLife.org/live to view it. We have all this on a podcast. If you want to send it to friends, please share it. You can go to youtube.com and get this probably in about 10, 15 minutes. I want to throw this out there to you, and I want this for the record here on our show, Younger Life Live, and thank you all for tuning in and viewing this. The guideline for 20 years and older for the heart card is something that is a guideline issued by the American Heart Association.
Okay.
I want that to be clarified. We don't play doctors. We are not doctors. What we are all saying, we've all have had life experiences in this room, and I want you to know that it's very, very important for you to go out there for that. Several people, please throw out that information again. No problem. It's up on Facebook as well. We've got you covered. Theheartcart.org. Ashley says we need to make this affordable. It is a $1,200 deal. If you've had a heart cart done and you need to have something done, be a responsible human being. Don't be selfish. Be an adult about it and go get it done. Take off. Work's not worth it. Life isn't worth it without you. You need to get it done. Think about your significant other, the people in your life. That's one thing. Number two, theheartcart.org is the site. The number is 219-326-2626. And then I want you to attend if you can. If you're listening, please attend this event. IU Health's got a great event on Wednesday, February 17th of this year, 2016, 5:30. It's at 901 Lincoln Way, and that is in beautiful downtown LaPorte. Go to it. It's called Show Us Your Heart. Sign up today. Keep yourself alive and make a difference. So, ladies, I got to tell you, this has been absolutely stellar.
Yes.
I love you.
Thanks, Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, I
Thank
did.
you for
This is
coming.
great. Thank you so much for having me.
It has
Thank
been
you.
absolutely phenomenal. Well, on behalf of us all, I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
And
I'm Ashley.
we thank you all, and thank you to Ryan Beth, our executive producers, and to all the great doctors and the men and women that save our lives, that help us stay alive, stay healthy, stay young, stay fit, and join us again, please, tomorrow for another great installment of Younger Life Live. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this week. We're going to be cooking up healthy options.
We are. We're going to do a little bit of food stuff, which we love
We
with
love
Chef
food.
Brad, right? And tomorrow we're going to show some footage of the follow-up visit we did to the bike stop, which again, great for your heart. I mean, really just good for you in general.
All right, everybody, look at your cameras and wave bye.
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 Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.